In January 2015, a group of film students from New Zealand was recording outside their school at Parnell railway station in Auckland. What you're about to see was captured by a student named Chris Meir. In the first few minutes, Chris and his friends were having fun and goofing around, but then a terrifying scene unfolded before their eyes. In January 2015, a group of film students from New Zealand was recording outside their school at Parnell railway station in Auckland. What you're about to see was captured by a student named Chris Meir. In the first few minutes, Chris and his friends were having fun and goofing around, but then a terrifying scene unfolded before their eyes. Suddenly they spotted a man and a woman wearing disturbing white masks, hiding in the tall grass next to the station, watching them ominously. Initially, Chris and his group thought these masked individuals were just some classmates trying to scare them, which is why you can hear nervous laughter throughout the video. But in reality, they were terrified by the situation. The most alarming part? Upon reviewing the footage, they realized that the couple appeared to be armed. In some clips, one of them was clearly holding what looked like a pistol. The tension escalated when the masked individuals got too close for comfort, leading the group to run back to the main road. And as if that wasn't enough, they spotted a police helicopter approaching. Who exactly called the cops that day? That remains a mystery. But according to my research, this wasn't the first time the couple had terrorized innocent people with their masks and weapons. Just days before, they had already haunted a woman at Auckland's Domain Park, fleeing before the police could arrive. When the officers finally showed up at the station, Chris and his friends reported the incident. The Auckland Police Department issued an urgent alert on their Facebook, urging the masked individuals to come forward and warning civilians to stay far away from the sinister couple. They also cautioned that if anyone saw someone carrying what appeared to be a weapon, they had no way of knowing if it was real or fake, and that they would approach the situation as if it were a real threat. Shortly after, the suspects reportedly came forward to talk to the cops. During the investigation, the authorities did not release much information to the public about who these individuals were, whether their weapons were real or what their intentions were. But one thing is clear, this was not just an innocent prank. When many online began accusing the students of staging a trick for attention, a spokesperson from the school had to step in, clarifying that the masked suspects had no connection to the institution. The tension hangs in the air. Who were these masked individuals really? And what did they truly want? Stay tuned, because this story is far from over. According to an article from Vice, a police spokesperson later confirmed that the weapons were fake, but I couldn't find any official confirmation of this. To this day, not many people know who the suspects were or why they were terrorizing the public for no reason. Whatever the case, it's a relief that Chris and his friends managed to escape before things took a sinister turn. Now let's shift gears to a chilling location near the base of Mount Fuji in Japan, a forest ominously known among locals as the Sea of Trees. This entire forest sprouted from a 30-square-kilometer patch of hardened lava left behind by the last significant eruption of Mount Fuji. However, what's truly disturbing is that over the years, the Sea of Trees has gained a dark reputation as a place where people go to end their own lives. Venture deep enough into the woods, and it's sadly not uncommon to stumble upon a body near the entrance. Now, let's shift gears to a chilling location near the base of Mount Fuji in Japan, a forest ominously known among locals as the Sea of Trees. This entire forest sprouted from a 30-square-kilometer patch of hardened lava left behind by the last significant eruption of Mount Fuji. However, what's truly disturbing is that over the years, the Sea of Trees has gained a dark reputation as a place where people go to end their own lives. Venture deep enough into the woods, and it's sadly not uncommon to stumble upon a body near the entrance. A haunting sign written in Japanese implores visitors, quietly think once more about your parents, siblings and children. Please don't suffer alone. Reach out for help. In July 2017, urban explorer and YouTuber Burbex decided to delve into this foreboding forest to uncover its secrets. He took his viewers on a gripping journey into the Sea of Trees, And while the video starts off relatively calm, just a few minutes into his exploration, he stumbles upon an abandoned bike. That's when things start to take a truly disturbing turn. What could this forgotten bike signify? What dark secrets lie hidden within the depths of this eerie forest? Join Burbex as he navigates through the shadows and brace yourself for the unsettling discoveries that await. I'm only a few meters away from the road right now, but I've already stumbled upon an abandoned bike. It's actually a pretty nice one. Let's take a closer look at it. It doesn't seem like it's been here for long. What do we have in here? Oh wait, I think I've just found something, a knife. And hold on, there's a note in this bag. The note reads 1211. I can barely make out what seems to be someone's name. This is eerie. On top of the bike, Burbex discovers an empty piece of packaging for a kitchen knife. Just a few moments later, he uncovers the note written on a plastic bag. It translates to 1211 verified Fuji Yosha police station. The term verified suggests this is evidence linked to someone who may have abandoned their belongings to take their own life in the forest, as confirmed by the local police station. It's haunting to think about how many lives have been lost in this forest over the years. Even more chilling is the realization that any unsuspecting passerby could easily stumble upon a body while exploring this terrain. Over the years, the Japanese government has implemented various measures like installing security cameras near the entrance to monitor who walks inside and training volunteers to engage with visitors who might be contemplating suicide. Yet these efforts haven't halted the tragic occurrences, and the media has sensationalized the forest's dark reputation, exacerbating the situation. Now let's pivot to an incident that occurred in early 2023. A man named David Meredith was taking his usual evening stroll through his neighborhood in Red Deer, Canada, when he suddenly spotted a bull moose grazing next to a tree. Eager to catch a better glimpse, he crouched behind the tree to observe, but in a shocking turn of events, the moose turned around and charged right at him. To grasp the magnitude of this danger, consider this. An adult male moose can run at speeds exceeding 35 miles per hour, nearly twice as fast as the maximum speed of the average human male. Just imagine the sheer panic and adrenaline coursing through David as he realized the imminent threat barreling toward him. Buckle up, because in nature, the unexpected can happen in the blink of an eye. Even though moose aren't generally aggressive creatures, they can easily trample and kill a human if they feel threatened. This is likely what happened in David's terrifying encounter. Fearing for his life, he quickly hoisted himself up into the nearest tree to avoid being impaled by the moose's massive antlers. Imagine that moment, being chased up a tree by a wild animal. Once he was safely out of reach, David began recording, capturing the heart-pounding scene. For about 30 seconds, the moose stood there, staring intently at David, while you can hear the uploader's nervous breaths echoing through the video as he anxiously waits for the moose to leave. But things take a turn for the worse when the moose suddenly starts charging back and forth with its head down, a clear signal that it's stressed and could potentially harm him if he dared to come down. According to what David shared with a news station a couple of days later, he remained perched in that tree for over 10 minutes, desperately waiting for the moose to lose interest. When asked how he managed to climb up the tree in the first place, he demonstrated how he pulled himself up using a flimsy-looking branch. This is honestly one of the most alarming aspects of the entire situation. If that branch had broken, David would have been at the mercy of a very angry moose, and he might not have lived to tell the tale. Fortunately, after realizing David wasn't coming down, the moose finally gave up and bolted off into the woods. With the danger past, the uploader was able to climb down safely, breathing a sigh of relief. What a close call. This wild encounter serves as a chilling reminder of the unpredictability of nature and the importance of respecting wildlife boundaries. He waited it out for around an extra half hour. In February 2018, a man named Greg Harris uploaded a GoPro video of himself riding his ATV on an unnamed trail. For the first few seconds, the footage shows exactly what you'd expect from this kind of upload: scenic views and the thrill of off-roading. But then, in the blink of an eye, something extremely disturbing interrupts Greg's ride. If you missed it, a metal wire had been set up between two trees, and it caught Greg's helmet, forcing him to come to an abrupt stop. It's chilling to think that had he not been so lucky, he could have been decapitated by that wire. Fortunately, as he described in the video, his speed and the wire hitting his helmet instead of his neck caused it to break as he passed through it. You might wonder why anyone would even think of doing something as malicious as setting up a lethal booby trap on an ATV trail. Sadly, it's more common than you might think in the dirt bike and ATV community. Sometimes these wires are set up by people trying to keep bikers off their property. Other times, they're the work of individuals who become irate over the noise and resort to violence. Then there are those who are just plain disturbed and want to inflict harm for no reason at all. In this case, it's impossible to determine who set the trap. This is one of those situations where if the wire had been positioned just slightly lower, the accident could have easily been fatal. Thankfully, Greg was able to walk away with minimal injuries and used his video to warn others to be vigilant for these kinds of traps, especially when riding through wooded areas. Now, let's rewind to the summer of 2014, when a man named Chris was biking in the mountains near Fernie, British Columbia. While enjoying his ride, he suddenly noticed what appeared to be an animal emerging from the tall grass. To his horror, he realized it was a mountain lion, and that's when he started recording. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a mountain lion. He's crouching in the grass and actually coming towards me. At first, it's hard to spot the animal, but as Chris walks toward the trail, the lion becomes clearer, stalking him with an eerie calm. Although mountain lion sightings are rare, they have been known to attack humans, especially in tense situations. If you find yourself being stalked by one, slowly approaching while it locks eyes with you, you can be pretty sure you're in serious danger. About 2 minutes into the footage, the lion starts walking a bit faster, and in a moment of panic, Chris makes the critical mistake of turning his back and running. "Hey, Mr. Mountain Lion, how are you doing? Nice to see you. I'm much bigger than you," he exclaims, trying to assert dominance. Over the next few minutes, Chris attempts to get the mountain lion to back off, but it continues to circle him, stalking him in the tall grass near the entrance to the woods. Just a couple of minutes later, as Chris takes a few cautious steps toward the main trail back to his car, the mountain lion once again cuts him off. "Stay back, stay," he pleads, the tension in the air palpable. With danger lurking just behind him, every moment counts. What will Chris do next? Will he manage to escape this life-threatening situation? Stay tuned, because this encounter with nature's apex predator is far from over. "I'm not afraid of you," Chris bravely calls out, but fortunately, after a few moments of tense standoff, the mountain lion turns around and disappears into the trees. Just imagine being in that position, downright terrifying. The only reason the lion didn't attack was that it simply didn't want to. If it had felt more threatened, it could have inflicted serious damage. Thankfully, Chris walked away from that harrowing encounter unharmed, but it was a close call that he would never forget. Fast forward to March 2019, when a 5-year-old girl from Fair Lawn, New Jersey was playing with her friends near a creek in the wooded area behind her home, right off Route 208. This was a familiar place for her family. They had lived there for 13 years and felt completely safe letting their daughter explore the woods. However, on that particular afternoon, the girls stumbled upon something alarming: a pile of clothing hidden among the trees. She immediately ran back to her dad, Dave Carota, excited but trembling as she told him what she had found. To her horror, the clothes appeared to have been cut off a person's body, with suspicious red stains splattered across the tattered remnants. She immediately ran back to her dad, Dave Carota, excited but trembling as she told him what she had found. To her horror, the clothes appeared to have been cut off a person's body, with suspicious red stains splattered across the tattered remnants. Concerned for his daughter's safety, Dave quickly confirmed that the bundle contained only women's clothing before he called the Bergen County Sheriff's Office to report the incident. It felt far too strange for a random pile of cut-up clothes to appear near the entrance of the woods so close to their home. Even though it was the first time their daughter had seen the clothes, it was clear they had been there for several months, which explained the excessive wear and tear. However, the suspicious cuts and stains raised serious alarms. Immediately, the police in Fairlawn began asking the public for help, identifying the clothing, hoping it was just a prank rather than something far more sinister. Unfortunately, no one came forward with any answers. Without a link to a crime or a victim, the police department couldn't accept the clothing for testing. To this day, the Fairlawn Police Department hasn't been able to match the clothing to anyone in particular. All we can do now is hope that whoever those clothes belonged to did not meet the harrowing fate that the dark reddish stains imply. This chilling story serves as a reminder that sometimes the woods can hold secrets that are better left uncovered. What truly happened to the person from whom those clothes came? Could there be a darker story lurking just beyond the trees? As the mystery remains unsolved, it leaves us with an unsettling feeling of unease. Stay vigilant, because you never know what might be waiting for you in the shadows.